Kevin, I saw that. You monster.
Okay, so last time we played, you guys started off on the road at the foot of the Frosted Tips, and you set up the mountain to find Silverstand. And with Brynn leading the way, you guys started finding your way through the forest when, unbeknownst to you at the time, a pixie came and confused you and basically led you astray through the forest and into a trap where there were several giant spiders waiting. After you guys managed to get the jump on them by spotting them in the webbed trees, you guys took care of them and found a patrol from Seaton that had been webbed up by the spiders. And Kelnozz got some fancy armor as a result. And then kind of free now of the control of the pixie, you guys made your way to Silverstand and encountered Rootheart, the ent that guards the way. And after a very slow conversation with him, you guys were allowed into Silverstand, where you were basically hosted by the Elven Temple after you guys kind of first arrived and noticed that it was overoccupied and just like crowded with refugees and elves that had been coming from Seaton and other places from around the Colvin Peninsula. And we ended the night with Theren's midnight prayers to Maraganor. So it's basically the end of the night. If you guys wanted anything to do during your long rest, this would be the time to say so.
Let's see. Does everyone have their hit dice and all that shit? You don't need to attune to anything? Check your inventories. It's been a bunch of time.
Everybody, read off every item in your inventory.
I have
Attune.
I have a ton of spider silk that I want to turn into some clothing.
You have a ton of like random dead animal flesh that you want to do something with.
Oh yeah. I dump out my portable hole and its stinking hide falls out.
There's mountain. No, I got the mountain lion pelt tanned properly. I can't remember what other creatures are in there.
Yeah, there was something in there.
Crocodiles, yeah, I was gonna make some boots. Is there anyone around here who could be like a leather worker?
That's something you'll have to investigate in the morning.
Okay. So I'm going to take stock of all the different crafting materials that I've collected.
So Eikooc gives you these carcasses, these skins of the crocodiles that you've had. It's been at least a couple days since then. It's maybe 2 or 3, I'd wager. So they're not looking super great. They're starting to deteriorate.
I need to find a tanner immediately.
Okay. Well, if everything's no one wants to declare anything, then you guys sleep in your tents that you put up over, like, just anywhere in Silverstand. I think you guys all said you were gonna just make camp just outside of the temple. And in the morning, you hear the sounds of the elven priests walking in around, asking around, looking for the adventurers that came last night.
That is us.
Like he's like wandering the crowd asking where we are.
Yeah, it's just I'm just loading this stuff here. It's the woman priest Vidania, and she's just kind of walking outside. And when she sees you guys poking your heads out of your tents, she says, "Greetings, adventurers. Come, we'll have breakfast together. Aramil would like to talk business now."
Let us speak. Is there somewhere in private where we should speak, or among the common folk?
She beckons you to follow.
I would follow.
Yes, I also follow.
Okay.
We have prepared a meager breakfast for us to eat as we discuss what Aramel has to ask of you. And she leads you through the long hall of the Elven Temple, past all the stained glass windows of the Elven Gods, and up on the balcony you find there's been a table set out with fairly basic breakfast foods. You guys have just been given a large feast last night, and you notice that Aramil is sitting at the table, who is like the high priest of the Elven Temple here. To one side of the table is a woman that you guys were introduced to at the feast, Tiala Alora, who is a middle-aged elven woman with pale gold hair, and she's wearing elven chain and carries a long sword in a dark green cloak. She's the leader of the Forest Watch Rangers. And to her right is Roland Hanali, which is a man you met earlier. He's the second in command
Of the Forest Watch.
of the Forest Watch. That's right.
What was the leader's name again, real quick?
Tiala.
Yeah.
Sitting a little further down the table is a young lady elf with short silver hair and soft lavender eyes. She sees you guys. She gives you guys like a shy, polite smile. And there are chairs waiting for you there as you sit down.
Does she introduce herself?
She says nothing. And as you guys sit down, Aramil stands up and says, "Welcome. Welcome. I hope you are not too worn out from the feast last night. There's much to discuss. Before I use a meager kind of breakfast of breads and
Oh, BRB.
breads and fruit juice and pieces of fruit. He says, well, how have you enjoyed your time here in Silverstand?"
I have had a most life-changing experience. For as I prayed at the hallowed temple to Maragnor, he appeared before me in a vision and relayed to me my purpose. For I am to help you find these people a new place to live, for they cannot stay in Silverstand for too much longer.
By the gods. That's amazing. It is true that I've grown very fearful of the people who come to Silverstand and for Silverstand itself. And this is a holy place, a secret place, not a place, not a city. And even without the watching eyes of the council, I fear that more people that come here, the harder it will be for us to remain a secret.
Indeed. Have you put any thought to where these people could possibly go?
I have sent my rangers through the land in the Coldwind Peninsula looking for a spot that might be secure. It is difficult with the drowned forest and the shivering wood both being so inhabitable.
Is there any place that has been impossible to explore, either due to danger or being too far away and requiring too much of a commitment of your forces?
Well, there is one place that I've been considering, and so far I have to be honest, it is my only option. There is an island just off the coast in the west tip of the Coldwind Peninsula. This island, I'm told, was the site of a abbey, a church, or a temple devoted to the human god Carmyle, the god of who the humans worshipped, the god of storms. Now, this temple is on a crag of rock in the ocean, but was well fortified and gained the attention of the sea princes. Are you familiar with them? Surely you've heard of these pirates. Well, they had the attention of this. They found this abbey and caught their attention. A great battle ensued, and the abbey was destroyed. The pirates, we believe, took what they wanted and have left it for as a worthless piece of rock. However, I have a ranger on a nearby island who believes that it may still be salvageable, and we may be able to make a fortified space there for many of these people, perhaps not all of them, but, well, the only thing standing in our way is that my ranger tells me that there's a horde of undead guarding the only entrance into this island. My ask is that you would go there, take care of this horde of the undead, make sure the island is safe, and, well, from there we'll have to begin to think about how we would get all these people there without being seen. He says that he's a very kind of dark and worried look on his face, and he says, it's a thought for another day. Tell me, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my duty as a dragoon, and by my vow to Maraganor, of course I would take on this quest to vanquish the abominations that plague that land. And I'm sure my faithful companions would be only too eager to fight for what's right, cure the land and help the people of Silverstand, only for the benefit of helping and good sort of reward. I look at Kelnozz.
To help my fellow elves. Huzzah!
Hey, Brynn.
Seems like a good plan. How will you sustain yourselves living on this island?
Well, we have the means of creating food through our prayers, but we will also have to learn to fish, and perhaps we can find a way of turning that piece of rock into more fertile ground.
And will you be safe from the forces of Taden?
Uh, I don't know. It is quite far from Taden, but it is possible that if they know that we're there, that they'll still come looking for us. It's the same as perhaps here, and to be honest, to some degree, Silverstand is more important than than all the elves who live here. We cannot have the humans taint this most holy site.
Can I get you to mark on my map where this island is located?
What was the name of the island?
Well, it doesn't have a name. It's not on maps.
Oh.
But perhaps we will think of a name.
My apologies. I thought I missed that in the conversation.
So on this map, it's in the hex that is directly below Orwell Mine. The words Orwell Mine here.
I see. Well, at least that's a little ways away from Seaton. I was thinking it was the one just off the shore of Saltmarsh there.
Okay.
Tiala speaks up and says, I will give you more specific directions to the island where our ranger is staying. His name is Major Ursa. I'll send word to him to expect you. She looks
Very good.
She
We shall leave post haste.
She says, don't leave too soon, Brynn. I'd like to commend you for your work.
I always go for a good commending.
You are to be our official ranger on this mission, which means that we will need you to report back when it is complete.
Absolutely. Again, anything to help my fellow elves. We certainly need to find a safe home for all these people.
She says,
What other responsibilities would I have as the official ranger?
well, your duty as a ranger of the Forest Watch will remain to be the protection of Silverstand at all costs. But in this case, we wish you to help the Dragoon with his mission and secure a place for Silverstand for the people of Silverstand to be sheltered. Roland here will take you Roland will take you and your friends to the armory here and supply them with any basic gear they need.
Most excellent. We'll get underway post haste.
And as you guys are having that conversation, Brynn and Tiala, the short-haired elf who's sitting coincidentally very close to Kelnozz leans over and says, "By the way, thank you very much for saving Hodge." And she kind of like blushes a bit as she says his name.
It was our
Oh, he's
duty.
gone. So yeah.
Good old Hatch.
Well, it means quite a lot to me. And she hands over a small bag over to Eikooc. And inside you find five vials. And she says, "These will help."
What are they exactly?
These are healing potions.
Ah, 5 healing potions.
She digs out through the bag and pulls out 3 healing potions that are like a light yellow color, and she says, "You've had these before, I'm sure." And then she puts them back in the bag, pulls out 2 vials that are more of a darker color, still yellow, but closer to orange, or with tints of orange in it. She says, "These pack a little bit more of a punch." So you have 3 potions of healing, 2 potions of greater healing.
Many thanks. These will be very useful.
She says, "I'm Captain, by the way."
I am Eikooc. Surely you have heard of me.
Hotch did mention that a Halgud was coming through.
What is your role here, Catherine?
Caffeine.
Caffeine. Ah, I gotcha.
Caffeine Oka. I'm a druid. I worship the forest here.
And what is your relationship to Hotch?
She says, that's a little personal.
Understood.
Do you guys have any other questions or things you want to say to these people as you finish your breakfast?
Can they tell us about this forest?
What would you like to know? What do you ask?
I want to know how long this forest has been here.
Vidania answers and she says, "The forest has always been here for as long as the trees have been growing. But the elves here, we've been worshipping here, or our ancestors have been worshipping here thousands of years."
I ask, and what makes Silverstand so special to you elves?
Oh, it is a very holy sight. Can you still see the moon in the morning sky? She points up, and you can see a moon that's almost faded into the daylight sky, and just a sliver of it is showing. She says, "When the light of the moon is full and sits at the top of the sky, it's reflected perfectly in this pond here." She gestures down to the pond that the balcony is kind of standing over. When it does, a great white tower appears in the circle of the moon. This balcony here joins the tower when it arrives. And in times of old, when the tower arrived, the Elven Kingdom would be there waiting for us, with King Yosef himself and his queen Arcitania, and above all, Frula Stardancer, goddess of the moon, and we would feast and pray, and well, there hasn't been a time while I was alive where the gods have been on the tower. But whenever the moon is full here, tower does appear. That's why we cannot let the humans get here. It's not enough that we save the lives of the elves around us. If we lose the sight, we lose everything.
And that is powerful magic. Do your stories have any explanation as to why the gods stopped appearing?
Make a religion check, Eikooc.
Okay. Sorry if I'm quizzing you too much about. I'm curious.
No. 10. So your knowledge of the human or the council religions is fairly good because you're a quick study and you have immersed yourself in it, but no special insight comes to you here. And Aramil says, it is the way of the gods. They've withdrawn from this land. It is only through their chosen that we seem to see any kind of their presence these days.
Are you familiar with Brynn Isosceles, the man, the myth, the legend?
Well, we're all aware of Brynn now, and the tall tales he tells, and I'm
No
glad.
tall tales.
Well, I'm glad to see that you live up to them at least. It's a shame that my nephew Lucan can't be here.
He has to get away from me.
Lucan Equilateral. He's
Oh, I forgot about that guy. That's amazing.
I don't understand what the feud is between you two, but it's no business of mine.
And what do your people say of the drow?
Says, to be sure, I wasn't sure if drows were a legend or if they were real. We haven't seen your kind here. Not for many, many years. I do have questions for you.
I have many answers, some of which are true. Right.
He says,
so honest.
the white spider does not let, in her stories, does not let her minions out of the darkness. How did you get to be here?
It's a long story. It involves the brutal murder of my entire family and house. But luckily, I was able to survive the purge in Menzo Baron's End. Have you heard of this place?
I have never heard of it.
It is a massive drow city in the Underdark. Few people have ever visited.
Indeed. Very interesting. Perhaps you can tell us more at a different time.
Indeed.
Roland stands up and says, well, if you're all ready, I can take you to the armory. Outfit you with whatever you need.
Excellent. We will need the most suitable garments you can procure.
Yes, as men of high culture, we wear only the most suitable clothing.
All right. Well, ready then?
Sally forth.
Okay. You guys follow him down into one of the wooden halls that is just down outside of the temple, and he takes you in what looks like basically a basic barracks and armory, where they have basically they can basically outfit you with anything that you need from the player's handbook in terms of armor and weapons, and probably also in terms of like equipment.
In terms of like armor and weapons they might have, is there is there anything super nice looking? Like, would there be some like magical armor or weapons potentially?
Roland, as you're looking around, he says, "Brynn, come here," and he says, "Tiala has issued you your own bow staff. Make sure that you take care of this. This is a ranger's weapon."
Bow staff? I'm so honored.
He hands you this red cherry looking longbow, and it's quite long. It's longer than usual.
Longbow. Sorry, I thought you said bow staff. I was very confused, but was gonna roll with it.
He says, "Here's your bow staff," and he grips the string at one end, pulls it off, and the bow straightens up into a quarterstaff.
Oh!
And he
What?
hands you the string and the staff, and he says, "You left before you can be trained on these things, but I think you'll probably get the hang of it pretty quick. Now take this cord here and loop it around the bottom of the staff."
I do so. I loop it around.
As you loop it around and pull the string up, the quarterstaff just kind of naturally curves, and you affix it to the end of the other end of the staff, and it becomes a longbow.
Oh man.
So you should have this in your journal, whatever it's called. When it's a bow, you can use a bonus action to take off the string and turn it into a quarterstaff. And when it's a quarterstaff, you can use an action to put the string back on and make it a bow. And it's a +1 in either form.
That's so badass.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Many thanks, Roland. This will certainly come to good use.
I would just be careful flashing that around if you're walking in the human cities.
Oh, absolutely. This is a treasured possession, and they would know right away it's made by only the finest craftspeople, the elves.
Yes, it'd be a shame for that to be stolen under mysterious circumstances. You best keep a close eye on it, Brynn.
This weapon will never leave my side.
Excuse me. He says, "Well, does anyone need anything else?"
Is there any like studded leather armor or anything like that kicking
Yep.
around?
You can get non-magical versions of like anything in the equipment section of the player's handbook.
Okay.
Can I get like a lance and a longbow or something of some sort?
You can get
See this
a
longbow.
normal longbow and a lance.
Am I proficient with that stuff? How do I figure this out? Longbow.
I'm almost certain you're proficient with a
Oh,
longbow, and I bet you're
yeah.
proficient with a lance too.
I look
Yeah.
over at Kelnozz and I'm like, "What do you need a fucking rope for?"
Nice. Do they have any other like super cool, like a hand crossbow or some sort of like super shiny rapier?
There's no super shiny anythings, but there are hand crossbows and rapiers.
Is there anything that catches my mischievous eye?
You can make an investigation check.
Yeah, now we're talking. Investigation. I'm not very good at that. Ah,
Ooh.
not bad.
You find
Do I find a quarterstaff bow that looks pretty,
you find
attractive?
you find 5 gold pieces scattered around the room. You
Can
don't.
we also just get a set of studded leather? Regular plain studded leather?
Sure.
How much gold? Oh, I've got no gold. That's gonna be a problem.
Not here. They're not asking for
Oh,
money. They're just.
that's right. They are not asking for money. So yes, just a plain studded leather.
Yep. Just write it down. Just put it in your character sheet. Roland says to Kelnozz, he says, "We don't have anything too fancy. If that's what you're looking for, anything of value, we've either don't offer to our rangers, or we've sold off for more funds and more supplies."
Understood. You've been most generous already.
He says, "If you're looking for something magical, the rumor is there's a wizard in camp somewhere.
Ooh, I do like rumors. Could you tell me anything else?
His name is Jarsali."
Jarsali Izaki.
You've heard of him?
Sally? Yeah, he's the elf wizard living in the valley.
Heard of him. We don't know where to locate him, though.
I'm sure if you ask around, you can find him. People like him tend to stand out. No offense.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Says the 8-foot Halgud.
Well, we're used to seeing Hotch around here, so you're not that much different. Alright, so if you guys have got everything you need from here, Roland is staying here at this barracks to do his different errands and duties. So he bids
Do
you
they
good day when
look-
you're done.
Receptive to a little, if I serenade them with a little song?
Oh, absolutely. Elves always like songs.
So I crank out my lyre and play a song of the drow. A little tune for the Forest Watch. Should that be a performance?
Yes.
Oof.
You do a very, very enjoyable tune. And as everyone suits up and gets their studded leather armor and Brynn gets used to his new bow, hits with a nice.
Oh, he's
nice
swinging it
little-
around. Look at him. That
This
is the
weapon is
song.
amazing.
That's the song of my people.
Such fine crowd. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh no, you're good. I just wanted to. You've been so hospitable to us, and so I'd like to try to repay the favor by playing a song of my people. May it bring you good luck and happy hunting this day.
And to you, it was very charming. Well, when you're done suiting up and taking all you need, let me know. I'll be in the office. He walks off into the barracks office. So you guys are now basically free to do what you will in Silverstand.
I would like to track down this wizard, see if I can learn anything from him, or
I do like the idea of potentially finding magic items.
yes, that is the other thing I was hoping. Knowledge and magic items.
Typically, wizards can get into trouble, and perhaps we could get lots of loot. And more converts from Ragnar, eh, Theren?
I'm always eager to spread the word of Maraganor, as you all know.
To everyone's detriment.
Yes. Much detriment.
Okay, I guess I'll start, asking around on this Jarsali.
Make either a investigation check or a persuasion check.
Oof.
Critical fail 7.
So you end up wandering through the valley, kind of asking around and looking for clues of the wizard, and you're kind of asking around, but you're more so looking with your amazing perception and trying to look for a similar kind of arcane looking person. And as a better part of half a day goes by before you find someone who looks like they might be a wizard, and you see a young elf with silver white hair, purple robes. He's got a long quill, and he seems to be very carefully scribing onto a piece of paper. Someone nearby says, "Yeah, that's him. That's the wizard. Careful, he's a bit of a dick."
You talking about me? Or are you talking about him?
I was talking about him.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about you. Ugh,
Okay.
what a dick.
All right. I approach Jarsali. And I say,
As you approach this guy, you notice that he has a raven that is standing watch just above his shoulder off the top of his tent.
Kelnozz, are you with me?
Yep.
And do you have Bims?
Oh, wingman you. Yep, Bims is rolling with us.
And this young elf also has a necklace with 3 orange pearls on it. And as you approach, the raven goes, "Mm-hmm."
Greetings.
And the elf doesn't look up and says, "Are you the out of towners?"
Indeed we are, Jasale, I presume.
Well, what can I help you with? Again, without looking up.
We understand you might be the man to talk to for magical items.
You heard wrong. He looks up for the first time and says, "Ah, a dark elf. That's not what I expected."
Have you not seen a dark elf before?
And the crow, the raven, takes a few steps forward and goes, "Ain't it nice? Ain't it nice? Mmm." And Josh Alley stands up and starts poking you with his quill. And says, "Nah, I've never seen one of your kind before. You're just stories to us. Shadows to keep us in line when we're children."
No,
Maybe
we're
we
much
were wrong.
worse than that. I assure you. I wink. What brings you here to Silverstrand?
Well, it's not very easy to live anywhere else. The humans aren't very hospitable to my kind, especially mine with such talented in the gift of Arcanus.
Where did you live before you came here?
I spent my time in Matasco, for the most part. But I've been here for 3 or 4 summers now.
Is Matasco hostile to Elvenkind as well?
Well, define hostile. We can live there. We can beg in the streets and perhaps make a meager living there, but there isn't anywhere in the council where we can actually own property. There isn't anywhere in the council where we can practice our religion, our culture. And as I said, elves who can do magic seen with more distress than those who can't.
Have you ever been approached by the Mage Army?
The Royal Mage Army. I'm a little too young to perhaps have been around in their heyday 200 years ago. And I've not made any travels to Arcanadon. I hear that they've reached out, and there are some in the Coldwind Peninsula, but I haven't encountered them.
Indeed, we have. You would do well to avoid them.
Yes, we did have quite the run-in with them.
Hostile, you say?
Let's just say they won't take no for an answer.
Power of Kaiser is very great. I would perhaps understand if they were feeling confident. I have to say it's quite interesting.
Their offer of power tempts you?
Of course. Doesn't tempt you?
It did, until I saw what they were.
What were they? What did they do to you?
They're nothing but thieves and manipulators. They offer you everything and provide nothing in return.
Sounds like many people I know.
Indeed.
We all
They're not-
manipulate people, Yuck. Don't be mistaken.
Some more than others, I assure you. I put
you-
my
you-
hand on Yuck's shoulder.
Those who
You
can
see-
and those who can't, of course.
You seem to be a philosopher of sorts as well.
Well, someone this talented in the gift of Arcanus is not one who is uneducated. Now, was there a purpose for your visit? Or are you just here to be interesting specimens?
We were seeking out like minds and those in the who had knowledge of the way of the arcana, the I don't know, magical arts.
We
But
find
we
them
were
to be the
seeking
most
out,
interesting.
we were seeking out knowledge of any interesting magical items that you may possess or have knowledge of in the area. We're really we're seeking these items to aid us in our quest.
Items, no, but... And he gestures down to the paper he was drawing, or writing on. He says, but I am a scribe by trade, and I have a few spell scrolls that I could offer you, if you're interested.
Does interest me greatly.
Now, these are things that perhaps Kelnozz could use as well,
Oh, cool.
right? Because these are spell scrolls that you can use to cast a spell. Of course, Eikooc can also put them into his spell book. And I think actually probably any spellcaster can use them. So there's a check involved in casting it, and a check involved.
So it's
in
like
putting it in
a
spell book.
consumable, basically, right?
That's right. He rummages through his bag and pulls out 4 scrolls. He hands them to you.
Okay.
One is a
I
scroll
take-
of Find Familiar.
Oh, cool.
One is a scroll of Charm Person. One is a scroll of Jump. And there's one, as he hands to you, you try to take it, and he actually doesn't let go of it. He says, "This is a more expensive one. Just eyes only." And he opens it up, and there's a scroll of Water Breathing.
Water
Sorry,
what?
say that-
Water Breathing.
Water breathing.
He points to Find Familiar and Jump and says, "These two I'll part with for 50 gold, and the Charm Person will cost you 100.
And the water breathing?
He smiles and says, well, this is a very powerful spell. It will allow up to 10 people to breathe water as if it were air. Very useful in this neck of the woods. This will be 5,000 gold pieces."
Oof.
5,000. Whew.
He rolls it up and
You-
says, "It is quite
You,
painstaking to create this."
I understand your troubles, but you will not find somebody here in Saltmarsh with that kind of Saltmarsh in Silverstand with that kind of money, and I don't see, unless you're planning on venturing elsewhere, I don't see you getting rid of that spell anytime soon.
Perhaps we could take it off your hands in exchange.
Eikooc needs to make a persuasion check.
Come on, baby.
Ooh!
Oh,
He looks to you and says, what's your offer?
I can offer you 600 gold pieces.
600. That's less than the fifth of what I asked for.
Well,
Don't insult me.
I'm going to have to call in an expert to evaluate it. So that's going to cost me money.
I'll part with this for no less than 2,500 gold pieces.
I'm willing to come up to 800 gold pieces.
Make a... Well, you know what? I'm just going to say... He rolls up the scroll and says, if you're not here to be serious, then I'll save this for someone who is.
Well, I wish you luck in finding that person. And I start to walk away, hoping that he'll say, wait.
He says, wait, give me back those other scrolls or give me the money for them.
I hand back the other scroll.
I'd like to purchase the jump scroll for 50 gold.
50 gold.
Will you accept 40 gold?
Make a persuasion check.
It's not every day someone with 50 gold will be showing up around here. It could take many years before you could ever offload this.
He says, just give me the 40 gold. He seems annoyed at your group. He takes the 40 gold and gives you the scroll of jump. And the raven says, get on out of here!
Get out of here.
Quiet, Baxter.
Where did you find such a crow?
I conjured him out of thin air.
Perhaps you'd like to meet my friend, Bim. Bim flies around, does like a sweet spin in the air, 360. Does a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
Hold on. Can I do it? Did that work? Look at him go.
Jar Sally laughs in delight and throws his hands up with fireworks shooting out of his fingers.
Oh my
And
god.
Bims plays and flies the fireworks. And
I'm also getting excited here, and I'm going to shoot off some dancing lights.
where did you find such a magnificent creature?
Let's just say the previous owner has failure any.
Perhaps I was too hard on you. You know, Halgud is a shrewd shopper. Perhaps a bit of a
He
dick.
does like to haggle.
What is your group doing here? Where are you going?
It's a long story. One of our members is originally from here. Perhaps you've heard of him? Brynn Isosceles, the man, the myth, the legend?
Oh, yes. The young one who ran away.
Oh, we're seeking adventure.
Ah, mean no ill judgment. This place is rather boring, especially for a young elfling. But what brings you back? And are you here to stay?
We're here to settle the score with Lucan Equilateral, that dastardly elf.
Oh, Lucan. Another young trickster.
Trickster. Oh no. Bob. Oh my god.
Why would you have to settle a score with him?
Well, he stole something valuable from our friend Brynn.
That Lucan Equilateral is a thief.
We'll pay the ultimate price.
What did you steal
We're
from?
here to settle some petty scores. A dagger, I believe.
My family's dagger. The great Isosceles dagger. In the hands of an equilateral.
Ugh.
Can you imagine?
Well, I think I probably could imagine it from the right angle.
Oh my god.
So you side with the equilaterals then?
No, I just have an amazing imagination. It's required if you're going to be a true master of the arcane arts.
This is true.
Do you know where we would find this Lucan fellow? He disappeared into the mist shortly after we arrived.
Well, I don't keep tabs on the boys, but I'm sure he's somewhere around here.
Do you happen to know what his most favorite possession in the world is? Just out of curiosity? Perhaps a family member or significant other?
I don't really know him too much, except for here and there. Most of these people I don't associate with.
I don't blame you.
Well, is there anything else? Very well.
Not
That
for
is
me.
all?
Toodaloo then. He returns to his scribing work.
What an interesting fellow, I say to Eikooc.
Hmm.
You
Indeed.
should return at night and try to get that water breathing.
Oh,
If you know what
Kelnozz,
I mean.
your jokes never tire me.
I wasn't joking. I was deathly serious.
I say something funny in drow.
Oh, in
but
drow.
really just swear words.
I say, you crack me up, Eikooc. Just like a complete sentence of profanity.
Hmm. But I think I'm saying something like a funny joke, like a drow inside joke or something that you've taught me. But really, it's just like, I don't know, butt crack, penis, something like just nonsense. Like,
I can't wait to show you the Underdark, Eikooc. Oh, what fun we'll have down there.
I appreciate all you've taught me.
It's been an equal exchange of knowledge. Very well, gentlemen. Shall we proceed?
Indeed.
What are you guys doing?
We're going to meet up with Major Ursa.
Who's Major Ursa?
The ranger who is scouting the island.
He's on a nearby island.
He's at the island, right?
He's at a nearby island that overwatching the island of the Abbey, because the island that the Abbey is on is guarded by a horde of undead. So he's on a nearby island.
Well, then perhaps we should travel to Saltmarsh and see if the sea ghost made it back into mooring there, that we may head out on our next seafaring adventure.
Yar. Sounds good to me.
That's right, Captain.
As you guys are walking and then having this conversation, Eikooc, with your amazing passive perception, you notice that there is a raven flying, tailing you guys, essentially.
I mentioned it to our companions, to my people here, and I say, it seems we have a raven tailing us. Perhaps it's Charcelli's more interested in us than we thought originally. Can I tell if it's Charcelli's raven or just...
Make a active perception check.
Okay. Meh.
You don't see any. There were no significantly identifying marks on Sally's raven, so you can't tell for sure.
Okay.
Okay. So are you guys all done in Silverstand? Where do you go from here?
I guess we say our goodbyes and then we head to Seaton, or sorry, head to Saltmarsh. Head to Seaton. That would not be good. Let's head to Saltmarsh.
So we can pick up a boat.
Yeah, get our boat, collect our reward. I think we're owed something, maybe? I don't know. Maybe Eleander will give us some stuff for rescuing Hotch.
Oh yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't care. It was...
I'm sure he'll make good on his word and reward us. Yeah, we should check in with that town, I suppose. I don't remember if we had any other unfinished business there, but
Certainly did. Could
Well.
tell you what it was.
maybe we can consult the priest there if he has any undead fighting tips that he can help us with. Well, in any case, Brynn, why don't you lead the way and scout out the path before us and make sure we get there safe.
Indeed, as a
We
good
still-
ranger might.
We still owe that mage diamonds.
Crap. Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god, I forgot about
Whatever.
we owe him 3 diamonds.
Well, his shack is on the edge of town. We can give it a wide berth.
That's
We
still
did.
gonna save some cash.
I think last time we were there, we set up them with a tentative deal between them and the lizard people.
Oh, I wonder how that war is going.
Wonder how that works.
And we've got those nasty Sahagwin fish dudes and stuff. Still to deal with. Yeah, so anyways, that's all fun stuff waiting us back at Saltmarsh. Let's go!
Very well.
Okay. So let's pull up the map. Okay, so reminder, we are kind of in the forests, the trees here that sprout out of the top of the frosted tips. So it'll take you guys normally on foot or by normal pace. It would take you guys 3.5 days to get to Saltmarsh. It takes basically a full day to get down the mountain, and then
Do we still have
roughly-
horses?
Yes, yeah, you still have your horse.
Okay.
And all your stuff as well, like your camping stuff too, right? So
Mhm.
Well, I'll scout ahead.
Yeah, let's make our way by horse.
Quickly as possible.
okay, well, you guys can make it down to out of the valley and through the rock passage to where Roodhart guards the way without really making any checks or anything. It's a very tranquil forest, very kind of chilly at this time of year. So for the remaining part of that journey down to the foothills, Brynn, are you leading or are you scouting?
I was scouting, so after we left, I would probably start off with a little 5 kilometer environment check.
Okay. So if you're scouting, you're going to be going 5 kilometers ahead, like keeping an eye out. So who's going to be in the front?
I'm not going 5 kilometers ahead. I'm doing my little like channeling.
Oh,
thing.
yes. Doing your channeling thing.
Kilometers ahead, and then I would be somewhat ahead, but not like 5 kilometers. That's a
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So,
half-hour run.
yeah, of course. Okay, but what I'm trying to establish is you're doing the perception checks of this, basically.
Yeah.
So who's going to be doing the actual leading in terms of the survival check?
Our fearless survivalist, Kelnozz.
I'm not very good at survival, I don't
Wisdom,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
not.
a 0 on that.
I guess it's me.
Lead the way, Captain.
Okay, and Brynn, do your perception check, please. So you guys managed to make your way kind of down the mountain. It takes a bit of time. It's a bit harder going down the mountain because you have to work against the momentum to keep the horses from going too fast without hurting themselves. And in terms of what you see, the forest is much calmer. You've now kind of you have the permission from the from Silverstand, and the denizens of the forest are kind of aware that you're a welcome guest, and so you don't encounter any of the various kind of defense mechanisms that are around here. And towards the end of the day, you make it to the road that westerly heads towards Saltmarsh, or you can turn east, which will turn to Seaton or Burl.
Westerly. Towards Saltmarsh.
So let's continue westward.
Okay. So let's do a survival check from whoever is basically going to be leading the way along the road. Actually, survival check's done. We don't need it on the road. Whoever's scouting ahead, do the perception check, and we're going to treat it for basically the whole trip.
Okay. Ooh. Not great.
So, you guys.
Crushed by a rock.
So over the course of 3 days, you guys head back to Saltmarsh at a normal pace, but you guys feeling kind of the pressure on you as the weight of what's been asked of you kind of sinks in on you as you journey towards Saltmarsh, realizing that there's over 1,400 people in that valley that are now kind of relying on the success of your mission here. And so you're very inwardly focused, and you don't really notice anything. Nothing disturbs you on your trip, and you do pass by some people traveling here and there, but your trip is very unremarkable. And after the end of the 3 days, you manage to get to Saltmarsh, probably around the halfway through the afternoon.
I just want to make a quick note. We probably shouldn't tell anybody what we're up to.
Oh, indeed. This must be kept a tightly held secret, as no one can know that there's a population of elves hiding in the forest.
And that we'll be finding a new home for them. Their home remaining secret will be part of their safety.
Indeed.
So what are you trying to say?
For all elvenkind, you must keep this a secret.
Hmm.
Not only that, but it might be useful if the idea that island remains covered in undead after we've purged it. It might dissuade people from going there. If we return to say that we were unsuccessful, to all but those of Silverstand.
Well, it might be difficult to keep that secret. We still need a crew to man the ship to take us there.
The crew is loyal to me for now.
Well, I suppose that's true. And we can make sure that they stay with the ship and not notice if the undead are gone or not. We'll just run away with our
If not,
fear in our eyes.
Yeah, and if not, we'll let Kelnozz deal with them.
Oh, that's a fate worse than most that you've going to
Wait, for
inflict
me
on your
or
own
for
crew.
the?
Well, provided they all have some sort of metallic dental work, I'm sure they won't be a problem for long.
Are you a man that can resist the glimmer of gold?
I put my faith only in the light of copper justice. I need no gold.
Well, I'm open to many metals of many colors, as long as they're all have a value on the open market. If you know what I mean.
Ugh. I shake my head in disgust.
Just when I thought we were becoming bros, once again, back to square one.
All right, so I guess let's make our way and see if we can find the sea ghost.
Okay.
I imagine she's just where we told her to be.
I sure hope so. We might be in trouble.
As you guys approach the old city wall, where there's 2 guards that always stand guard, one says, "Who goes there?"
Well, it is I, Kelnozz, captain of the Sea Ghosts. First mate. Here's Captain Ian.
Mate.
The other guard says, "Are you blind, Angus? That's the dark one. This is the outsiders." Go on through.
Why, thanks.
Come,
Yes.
cabin boy, Brynn. Come,
Cabin
continue
boy.
to the ship.
All right, you guys head into town, past the Wicker Goat. As you pass over the bridge, everyone
Oh,
but
the
Eikooc
Wicker
needs to
Goat.
make a Constitution check. You feel sick to your stomach, Kelnozz.
Ugh.
As is Theren.
Can you remind me, Bob? I remember we did research into this a while back, but there was like this bridge has done this like for a really long time, right? This is like
Mhm.
been an ongoing like historic thing.
Yeah, it's you did learn that it's cursed. It was cursed many, at least 100 years ago to only affect elven.
Right.
Any elf that crosses the bridge. Brynn, you feel fine as you cross over the bridge.
Yeah.
We should destroy this bridge, burn it to the ground.
Hmm.
But
Curses
it
are
is-
not meant to be trifled with like that.
They must be removed magically, unfortunately.
So you guys still heading straight to the Sea Ghost? As you do.
Well,
Can we check in with Linkus?
yeah, I was checking with Linkus and see if he has any like scrolls of
Fat loot.
scrolls of like destroy all undead, destroy all undead hordes. He's got to have one of those up in there.
So, let's see here.
I'm gonna switch into my old man disguise.
Excellent. The dusky old man from the northern province is now with you guys. Kelnozz.
That's Elmer Ashtier to you.
So you guys wanted to go talk to Lankus at the Wicker Goat? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
All right. So when you guys arrive at the Wicker Goat, you notice that there's actually a couple of your crew there, and they all have kegs of ale around them, and they're laughing and having a good time. Lankus is behind the bar, and he looks like he's busy, kind of cleaning up and getting things ready for the afternoon or the evening meal.
So we'll just stroll in here. Is everyone coming?
Yeah. We gotta get our crew.
The crew enters. The Wicker Goat.
Lankus doesn't quite see you as you guys come in. He's quite busy. But as you walk in, you see the crew seems to see one of them point to you, and the rest of them they all have a kind of a guilty and surprised look on their face. But they freeze. What do you guys do?
Why are they looking like that?
Do you ask them that?
Can I ask my brain that remembers things?
Your brain that remembers things thinks that they look like they've been caught doing something they think they shouldn't.
Okay. Lankus, young man, what are you whippersnappers up to?
Ah, the old man and his friends. Sight for sore eyes. Welcome back.
It's been many moons since I last set foot here.
So I take it to mean that now that you're back here, we bringing your men under heel a bit more.
Well,
they've been causing quite the ruckus in town last week or two.
Oh, I see.
I mean,
Yes,
I'm happy for the business, but they can be quite a loud bunch.
They can be. Damn, what was that guy's name? What?
I don't know. What guy do you mean? That's okay, old man. Calm down.
My memory is failing me.
Oh, it happens to all us old timers.
Perhaps a drink will help jog the old almonds.
Certainly, and will you be taking rooms again? Like the old times?
I don't believe we'll need rooms. We have our ship. Accommodation.
Just here for a drink.
He hands you guys flagons of ale.
This round is on Brynn. I'll pay the next.
Haha! That is where you're wrong. I remain penniless.
Very well.
I cannot pay my bill.
Luckily, we can always count on Theren's generosity in times of need. What say you, Theren?
Very well. Enjoy your drink.
Half-elven after? Is that the navigator's name?
Half-ham hefter.
Half-ham hefter. Has he been watching over the men?
The dwarf? Well, I haven't seen him in here. Heard the good boys talk about him a bit. They were kept busy for a while when they were installing that barista, I heard. But after that, they came back to their drinking ways.
A pirate's life. Well,
What now?
I should. It is a song that I've heard. Allow me to play it for. A pirate's life.
He turns to
In
Brynn and
sea.
Taden and says, "Y'all shouldn't let a man this old walk around. It seems like he might be a danger to himself."
He's a danger to himself and the company he keeps.
You have no idea.
He's got a voice of an angel.
Kelnozz ignores all of you talking and improvises a song about what he believes is the pirate's life.
This doesn't start with high diddly dee.
Hi, diddly dee, a pirate's life for me.
Anyway, who's paying me?
What was that sum?
For the 4 ales, 2 gold, please.
Oh, here you are, good sir. Oh god.
This is not a high diddly dee.
I didn't pull up the right one, but I will have you know I know exactly where that's from because I just watched it.
What is it?
Pinocchio.
Oh, no way.
Don't play copyrighted music in my tavern.
Yeah, copyright strikes on YouTube.
I've never
Linkus.
heard of that magical place.
It is a very powerful spell. Linkus, have you heard any news of the fuck, I just had it. God damn it.
Calm down, old man. It'll come to you.
I lost my mind again. The bandits, the pirates, have they returned?
The sea princes. Yeah.
Yes, the sea princes. Have their dastardly flags been flown in the bay recently?
Come to think of it, I haven't heard any tales of them more recently.
Very good.
Have y'all heard about those lizard folks that just live down the ways a bit?
We've heard of them. Has there
Yes,
been
how
news?
goes the war?
War hasn't come yet, but folks say that they look through the windows of the council house and see lizard men talking to the council, and that they're planning something. Rumor is, in a few weeks there might be a contingent of council troops being sent here. And that's all I know.
Hmm.
Do y'all know if that's true?
We don't.
Well, we just came back to town, so
Your
Have
guess
that
is
time to
as
catch
good
up
as
with them.
ours.
Strange times. Used to be this neck of Alberog. It's very quiet, like, but strange times.
Indeed. We could regale you with tales of the drowned forest. We ventured from one end all the way through the other side.
Curse me kilts, are you serious?
And we lived to tell the tale. Tell the tale.
Couldn't pay me to go into that cursed place.
It was most unsuitable. Perhaps, have you heard of Zoran? Has his face been seen around?
That scallywag, I thought he was with you.
He was, but there were complications. If you do ever see or hear of him again, you'll let us know, won't you?
Well, I'll let you know, but I don't get out much further than Saltmarsh.
I slide 5 gold coins onto the table and kind of stealthily push it over to him. Well, if you do hear anything, please let us know.
He takes the 5 gold and says, that I will, old timer. Well, it'll be, boys, another round.
Suppose one more wouldn't hurt?
I'm always up for one more round.
Didn't you offer to get the next round there, Kelp?
Well, my name is Elmer, but your memory is also been damaged by the time of the drowned forest. But yes, of course. This round is mine.
He comes back with 4 more flagons of ale. That'll be 2 gold.
I'll pay 3.
He hands you back the gold. Your
Oh, and
change.
one other member of our crew. Have you seen
What did you say, sir?
Have you seen Salty Eye Jockwater?
Salty Eye Jockwater. He's been in here a few times. Keeps mostly to the ship, though.
Good man.
Lankus returns to cleaning up some of his flagons and
Well, shall we herd the crew back onto the ship?
Well, we should at least announce to the crew that we're back and going to head out on an expedition in the morrow.
Indeed.
They best sober up.
Indeed, I hope they haven't lost their sea legs.
I stand up and say, "Crew of the Sea Ghost, report first thing tomorrow morning. You better be ship shape and sally forth and all that good stuff.
Bristol fashion.
Bristol fashion.
Ship shape and Bristol fashion.
Thank you.
The
Captain.
crew members snap up and salute you and start stammering, but they're talking all over each other, and they just clumsily head towards the door and scamper out.
I said for tomorrow. Have one good last night, fellas.
Well, they'll shrug their shoulders, go back to drinking.
All right, well, A+ leadership there.
Most peculiar leadership strategy.
I said tomorrow.
All right,
Not
well,
one to challenge the captain.
well, we should stop in with Iliander and inquire about our reward and just let him know what happened in Seaton, I would say.
Yes, we should tell him about the whole Seaton situation. At least the parts that make us sound good.
Yeah, true. Actually, which parts are those?
But maybe we leave out the breaking out of jail and the, spitting in the dude's face. Just general story about how they're very unhospitable.
Indeed.
And we had to make a hasty, not escape. What's the word?
Retreat.
Hasty exit.
Hasty exit. There we go.
We were obviously not welcome. He may have already heard the news. Depending on who he talks to.
Depending on where you keep your wallet.
That's right.
Well, let's finish our drink and head back to the ship.
Are we gonna go find Iliander, or are we gonna go back to the ship?
Let's find
Where's
Iliander.
again?
Iliander Fireborn.
Fireborn. He's at the watchtower, right? Or he was?
He has
You
been.
had
He's also on the council.
still afternoon or getting towards dinner evening kind of.
It's like between early evening and quite late afternoon, like perhaps around 5ish. There's still daylight for a couple hours at least.
Let's try to find him.
Okay, so we'll try and track down Iliander, I guess.
Where do you guys try and track him down?
Maybe the barracks?
Ask a local guard, maybe? Something?
The barracks is right across the street from the Wicker Goat where you guys are, so as you guys head out and ask a guard outside the barracks, guy points up to the Hool Tower and says, usually there around this time. Probably be taking his evening meal soon, though.
Many thanks.
Wouldn't want to interrupt his evening meal.
Well, we'll get there post haste.
So, that's basically the stuff here.
Double time it on a magical horse.
Speed ahead.
Okay, so when you guys get there, when you enter into the building, you find Iliander Fireborn is behind his desk, doing some work. Do you guys say anything as you walk in the door?
Absolute silence.
Creepily enter the room.
Sneak in. Hey, Scott, he was your idea.
Oh, was he? All right. Hail, Iliandor. I hope you fare well.
Well, tarnation. If trouble didn't walk through my door.
Yes, well, we've seen much trouble since we last met.
I've heard
People
about
in-
some of it.
Yes. Well, it's quite a chaotic place in Seaton, and none too friendly to our kind. But we did manage to find Hotch. He's a free man now.
You see genuine happiness come to Eleander's face, and he says, that means the world to me. Thank you very much. Nah, I can't remember. I seem to remember that when I talked to you about Hotch, you had barged into here in the middle of the night and woke me up. I don't remember if I promised you anything, but did you make anything? Did you get anything from that bandit camp?
No, they had all cleared out of there because they didn't want to deal with us anymore. Basically scared them away with our night raids.
Yeah, many bandits were slain by somewhat breaking and misinterpreting the rules of the horses.
Well, I'd hate for you to come out empty-handed. And he scrounges around in his desk, pulls out a pouch, and he says,
4,000 gold pieces.
that better be a joke, Eikooc.
It is. I was just dealing with a crook.
You find,
Take my money.
Oh, man. The pouch has, there's 600 gold in there. I'm sorry it's not more, but it's not easy for me to put aside that much gold.
Are you familiar with the name Sheila Stoneheart? She has red ruby hair, I think.
Can't say that I have.
She was leading the bandits at the bandit hideout. Just curious if that name rang a bell.
There's a lot of bandits out there and a lot of wannabe warlords. And that one's a woman, you say?
Indeed.
Yes, she's a priestess.
Of Tarnox.
Oh, priestess of Tarnox, you say? That, well, the name doesn't ring a bell, but now that you mention it, I do recall seeing those bandits with the symbol of Tarnox when they came looking for their ransom. You ran into their leader, you say. What was that name again?
Sheila Stoneheart.
Sheila Stoneheart. Maybe we'll have her face on the board soon.
Indeed. Be wary of her. She seems driven.
I'll look into this matter. Put the name out there. Maybe if you come back after a bit, I'll maybe even have a bounty for you. How'd you like that, Brynn?
We do love a good bounty.
I do enjoy myself a dandy bounty.
All right. Well, I wasn't trying to get into your personal life.
Yes, rustle up your best bounty for when we return.
Now, you mentioned something about Seaton. No, have any of y'all heard the news about that place?
Well, we had a most quick exit from Seaton after their unpleasant treatment of us. Why? What's happened?
Well, we received a messenger asking about if I had given a letter of recommendation to a group of elves and a Halgud. And no sooner did we say that we had, than we heard about some kind of attack on Seaton. Something about giants and fires. It's got some people real shook around here.
Indeed. Sounds very troubling.
It does.
Yes, there's a faction of evil elves in the north. They call themselves the Fail-Cairn, if I'm pronouncing that right.
The follows Cairn.
Follows Cairn, yes.
The fallen leaves.
I have heard of some of this, of the fallen leaves.
It's under our understanding that they were behind the attack.
Giving ourselves a bad name.
Well, I can't say that I fully shared the council's decision on the elves, but I am sworn to honor it. And what these elves are doing are certainly not helping the cause of trying to change the council's mind.
Very true.
They will be dealt with in due time.
So
I say knowingly.
So were you there at Seaton during this attack, or?
We heard about it.
Yes, likely happened soon after our departure.
Make a deception check.
Which one of us?
Theren.
Here it comes.
You got this.
He doesn't seem to question. He just listens to you as you tell the story. Well, that's mighty lucky of you, because reports came in from Lord Felric that there were several of his fair hands had casualties, and some of the town folk were hurt by animals and plants that had come alive. It was,
That sounds unbelievable.
and there was fires all over the town. Yeah, I questioned Felric when he took control of the town. You know, it was his right as given to him by the council, but usually it is not necessary. But I guess maybe he was necessary if he's being suffering these attacks.
We were focused on finding Hotch, so we ventured from Seaton and traveled and searched the drowned forest from one end to the other.
Scary place that.
It's quite dangerous.
We encountered
All the way-
a horrible beast there.
All the way through to
Medieval.
Burl.
Oh yes. Burl wasn't a good place to be after such a journey. Their hospitality was most excellent.
Oh,
Well,
now Burl. Now there's a place that I like to travel to sometimes. Kiara Shadowbreaker she's got a good head on her shoulders. if y'all may get out that way, you'd be best to see if you can talk to her. She'll be an ally in these kind of endeavors, I think. She's a half-elf like you, Theren.
I nod.
Yes, we weren't able to actually talk to Kiara while we were there. We talked to Gargos, her lieutenant. She was much too busy for us.
They've got a lot on their plate there. Well, you're back in Saltmarsh. Hopefully that's not a sign of trouble to come. What do you do now?
We set sail. We have adventures and treasure to seek and adventure to follow on the high seas. We shall return, but it might keep us away for some time.
Well, do what you have to, but don't go too far. I know that the council and I plan to call on you very soon.
With regards to the lizard folk,
That's right. That's right. Our planning is coming to a head. We're just waiting for a contingent of troops coming in from Matasco. Should be here in a week or two.
Well, we will meet with the council. They request us.
Yes, thank you for your time.
That's all right. Thanks again for rescuing Hotch for me.
Farewell, Ariander, until we meet again.
Farewell. Nods to you.
Okay, I take my leave.
so I added 150 gold to my thing. I don't know if you guys all did that too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yes. Do you think the priest here, Welgar, might have anything of use against undead?
Welgar brine-handed?
Yes, the priest of Lyandra, of course.
At the Church of the Great Binding. Let's go. Maybe he'll have some like turn undead or something.
Okay, you guys are gonna head up to the temple. We need the elves to do another constitution check as they cross the bridge.
Blech.
Alright, so
Bang.
only Kelnozz feels the effects here.
And what do I have to do after that?
Nothing. You just
Okay, just don't feel great.
nauseous as you walk over the bridge. Okay, you guys walk through the city of Saltmarsh, or through the town of Saltmarsh, and all the way up to the temple near the graveyard. And there you find Welgar mining the temple. Howdy!
Greetings, Welgar. How fare you?
Oh, it's been some time since we've talked. Done pretty well, pretty well. I swept the temple today, and tomorrow I think I'm going to work on our holy books and see if I can arrange them. How fare of you?
Well, we have traveled abroad, had many adventures, most of which took us close to some cursed forest with evil undead there. I wonder if you have anything of use against those types of creatures. That might be a ward or a spell of some kind or some artifact that could help us.
He starts laughing a little and says, well, don't have any artifacts that I can lend out, but I do have some holy water that might be useful. I can bless some for you, or I have a couple bottles on hand.
That may be useful. Thank you.
So he offers you 3 bottles of holy water. He says, if you, those people of the faith can sometimes present their faith or their holy symbol. Turn back the undead. But I'm too old to come adventuring with you. I'm afraid I'm not much use to you from that way.
Well, you've been most helpful to us already, curing our diseases and whatnot.
Especially Kelnozz's.
Don't forget about that worm I took out of Brynn here.
Yeah.
He looks to you guys to see if there's anything else you need.
No, just checking in. Haven't been in town for a while. Glad you're doing all right, Welgar.
Excuse me.
Well, you know, it is tough for an old man, especially when the wind blows across the sea. You return to
All right.
work.
Well, we'll leave you to your work. Come, fellows. We should probably see how the crew is doing with the ship.
Indeed, it should be ready. Cleaned up from their weeks of debauchery.
I bet those salty dogs can't wait to get back to the open water where they belong.
So you guys gonna head to your boat?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. You guys head south back towards the docks. As you get to the docks, you can see the sea ghost is there at the pier. And outside of, or leaning out of his window, out of his big mansion, Jalan Primewater is there. And he calls to you as you approach the dock, and he says, well, there you are. You must have been all over town by now. I've been waiting for you here. Don't go anywhere. And he disappears into his house.
What an odd fellow.
People can make a perception check.
He certainly has his own interests at heart. Don't forget that he had a spy in our midst.
Perhaps he just likes to be informed.
So, Brynn, as you guys are waiting, and as you guys are waiting, you can see that the Sea Ghost is secured to the dock in a more permanent fashion, and has instead of just being tied down with ropes, there's a thick iron chain that is attaching it to part of the actual stone that's like at the base of the dock. And Jalan Primewater comes out of the door and says, I want to be there and see your face when you see it. Come on. And he starts heading towards the ship. Where have you been anyway?
Well, we've been on a mission for Iliander up north in the Drowned Forest, looking for a friend of his.
A mission from
rescued him.
Iliander into the Drowned Forest. How peculiar. What does that old man want from the Drowned Forest?
A friend of his was captured there by bandits. We found them and freed him. He was
Captured
most
by bandits.
in trouble.
It is a very dangerous world out there. Wouldn't you agree?
We know firsthand.
He leads you up onto the deck of the Sea Ghost, where you see that there is on the front of the starboard part of the boat is a large wooden ballista. Ta-da! Well,
Incredible.
don't say anything too quickly. Yes, well, perhaps you've heard, but your crew is going a bit land crazy and getting into a bit of trouble, and, well, I thought that it would only be suitable to give them a little bit of a project, and so I had them install this ballista on your boat.
Very thoughtful of you.
That's right. And of course, you don't have to pay me back all at once.
Indeed. What is this favor going to cost us?
Favor, nothing so crude. But I'm sure you're willing to pay for the materials and the labor and the work that went into this. And well, you're just back from a mission. I'm sure a mere 10,000 gold is nothing for you.
I start choking. 10,000 gold.
The air must be thick up there. I mean, thin up there for you to cough.
Thick it is.
Look, I don't think we have that much currency, but we could look into that missing shipment of yours, if that would compensate you.
Oh, Theren, that missing shipment, that was ages ago. It's gone now. Just don't worry about that. Water under the bridge. I'd prefer the gold, to be honest. Perhaps you could pay half now and half later.
We could give you...
Considering the labor was under our own commission, should we really be double paying?
Indeed.
Well, I don't recall you commissioning this, or organizing the work, or doing any of the work.
However, if our crew was used to do the labor, our
We
crew
never
is
asked for
currently
it.
under our command.
Well, they're under your command, but who is paying their wages?
Indeed. With
That's a good question.
I think we all know who's paying their wages. And I think that I'm quite insulted that you'd look this gift in the mouth, and I thought you'd be overjoyed to pay your fair share to get this weapon. Have some proper defense on this ship.
It is a mighty weapon, and we are gracious for its use. However, we do not have the money that you seek. We are not wealthy adventurers. We
You
seek.
see, you can't get blood from a stone here.
Well, as I said, perhaps we can make some arrangements.
Indeed, perhaps we can, as Theren suggested, perhaps there's something else we can do for you that will help to compensate for this.
Well, now that you mention it, I have recently received a message that one of my shipments has become stranded on a damaged ship. Can't make its way here, it's stuck where it is. Perhaps, you can go and rescue the ship and perhaps get the cargo from the ship at least. And if you retrieve that cargo, or the ship, with the cargo intact, of course, I'll consider our debt forgiven.
That seems like a manageable arrangement. Are you able to give us the location of this ship?
Yes, of course. I'll have one of my men tell you the details in just a moment. I'll have him unlock the iron the iron lock from your ship as well. He leaves the ship and walks back to his mansion, already calling for one of his attendants.
Sorry, what was that guy's name again?
Joanne Primewater. So after a few moments, a small group of men come up, and a few of them start pulling. One of them takes out a key, and a few of them start pulling off the huge metal lock and the metal chains. And the other one comes and gives you some nautical notes about where to look for the ship.
Come on, south.
Let's just pull up the map. So they give you more specific directions to where this is, but they point to the west of Saltmarsh.
Like how far out?
It is in the hex that has the U and the S in it for all spell.
Okay.
So like 2 over from Saltmarsh, essentially.
Yeah. Well, it's not terribly out of our way for our journey.
It's a good cover story, in fact. We can say that we were delayed, dealing with the ship. And really, we're off to rid the land of the undead.
Should we go to the ship first? Maybe hit it. Let's do it first since it's stranded, and then we can head south.
Good idea.
Set sail first thing tomorrow morning. And I make for my captain's bunk. Kelnozz, I trust you will get the ship shape.
Of course. Salty Eye Jockwaters, get the ship shape.
Righto
Bristol
then.
fashion.
We've kept it in good shape while you were gone, but most of our crew is spread out over the city, over the town.
Yes, we need to recall them immediately. Send the runners.
All right, I will.
Perhaps Bims can help as well.
As you would, sir. I mean, I can do it without the help of this dragon.
Bims will be supervising.
All right then.
Mark of a good first mate, of a good delegator.
Thank you, Theren. That's the nicest thing I think you've ever said.
Tear in your eye.
I think I left something in my cabin. Rushing away.
Salty Eye Jackwaters knocks on your door and says, Captain, just wanted to report. Ship's in
Yes.
fine condition. I've made sure everything is in good repair. The blister's been tested and works fine. Ship's a bit empty, but other than that, we're good to go. Structurally sound, of course.
Very good. We'll set sail first thing tomorrow when the crew has assembled.
Are we well stocked with food and supplies?
And ale. I've returned.
Water is more important than ale, Kelnozz, on the open seas.
Not for a pirate.
We're not pirates, Kelnozz.
Salty Eye heads out to get the crew.
When you're ready to board the enemy ship and slay their captain, what do you want in your flask? Water or ale?
Water, so that my aim is true.
Very well. Very well, Theren. You are a man who knows how to swing that sword. So you must be doing something right.
Yeah, you wouldn't want me drinking too much once I start swinging.
Maybe cleaved in twine. Accidentally.
So, Eikooc, the boat that you guys have been told to find is called the Emperor of the Waves.
Emperor of the Waves.
Did they say if there was any distinguishing marks or anything on the ship, or anything we should be looking for?
Well, they're usually marked. Like, ships usually have their name on the side of them.
Yeah.
So we could probably...
He said it would
Things
be
like-
flying the flag of Jalan's his enterprise, Jalan's guild.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys are going to tuck in for the night?
Yes.
What was the name of that boat again?
It's called the Emperor of the Waves.
Okay, so you guys are gonna do your long rest then?
Yep.
Okay. When you wake up in the morning, Salty Eye Jockwaters has returned. And seems like the crew has returned as well. And Salty Eye comes on board awaiting orders.
All right. Let's set sail, and I
So,
locate the.
with respect, sir, I'm wondering if we have proper provisions for this before we set sail.
Are we short on ale?
We're short on everything. We haven't kept the food stocked since we've been living on land.
Who's in charge here?
Oh, Captain Eikooc, sir.
Kelnozz, I gave you orders last night to have the ship ready to go.
Yes, and I
What's the meaning of
specifically
this?
ordered Salty Eye Jockwaters to take care.
How first mately of you.
Oh,
And those kind words from Theren as well.
I got the crew as ordered. You can ask Bims. He was a worthy drinking mate.
Damn it.
He's amazing with the pan float.
He is quite talented. Theren, pass me the cat of nine tails.
Oh my god. All right, let's prepare the boat before we start whipping the crew on
We
deck.
need a good flogging to restore more.
Kelnozz, I'll have you walk the plank.
Being a good leader is a combination of respect and fear. Mostly fear.
All right, let's send the crew out to pick up the supplies, and then we'll get out of here.
I scold Bim for not being a good pseudo dragon.
The crew members, it says like who's in charge, who's coming with us to do this.
Kelnozz, of course. He's the first mate. He's here to see my orders are executed.
But
I'll spend my day loading the ale into my belly.
I appear to have sprained my ankle, Captain.
You'll want to pick up some more while you're out there, Kelnozz.
Salty Eye goes down into the cargo hold.
Theren, haven't you mentioned you wanted to go and search in provisions?
Very well.
Did you explicitly say that's something you wanted to do?
I said nothing of the sort, but I will certainly do everything necessary to get us on our way to complete our most important mission.
Now, there's a brave soul.
Alright, well, I'll wait for Salty Eye Jockwaters to come back up here after he assesses the hold, and then we'll make for town and
Salty
gather
Eye
our
Jockwater
supplies.
did not indicate to you that that's what he was doing.
Well,
He just left.
hmm.
The crew members that are assembled says how much supplies are we going to be carrying?
Well, I mean, we're probably going to be out to sea for perhaps a week's time or so.
10 day at most.
A fortnight.
I
That escalated quickly.
don't know any bigger numbers, so like you win.
I always like to measure
A
things in
full
fortnights.
moon.
The crew seems like they're waiting for you guys to the side.
Yes, enough for a fortnight at sea.
All right.
Will there be any difficulty getting that many supplies?
Ah, just a standard voyage. Who would leave with any less?
I'm losing confidence in the crew, so I will accompany them as the captain ordered. Salty Eye?
What are you doing with Salty Eye?
I'm gonna help him out.
Okay, you
My
find
ankle has
you find him in the
miraculously healed.
you find him in the hold, going about of his duties. What?
I'll help you take stock of what we have.
Oh, I'm not taking stock. I'm just making sure everything's shipshape. No
Bristol
nails sticking
fashion.
out. Oh, I thought Theren was going after the supplies.
Oh well, we'll need a couple crew members to come with us.
Oh, right. Captain already selected those crew members.
Oh, did they leave already?
You'll have to go upstairs and check.
I don't like your sassy attitude, Salty Eye. Walk back.
Theren, have you left with your crew members yet?
Sure.
Okay. Oh. I have to make sure I spell Fortnite right when I Google it, so I don't get a video game.
Good luck with that.
Okay, so while you're out in the market, you discuss with vendors to get supplies in terms of getting enough fresh water and food for your 15 crew members, as well as the 4 of you. You find out that it takes about 5 gold per day to supply them with that stuff.
4 gold a day?
5 gold a day
5 gold a day?
for 19 people.
That's 70 gold.
5 times 19. I'm using
5 times 19?
that is 95. So if you want 14 days for 4 nights, it'll cost you 1,300, like 1,330 gold.
Whew! Well, let's see how much money I have.
I can lend you some money.
Sweet.
Glad I didn't go.
I can pay 1,000. Can you spot the 300?
Remaining penniless.
Yeah, I have. I can pay 300.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, I'll do the 330.
Good. Then we're covered.
I should mention that this is for like a comfortable lifestyle,
Yeah, well,
right? You
but
could
we're not gonna.
could do a meager lifestyle and do less.
I think not.
What? Well, it's not like we're trying to go on a pleasure cruise here.
Especially if Theren's paying for the party book.
So if you do like a meager lifestyle, you can get it for 30 gold per person per day.
Alright, so 3 times 19 people times roughly 2 weeks, 798. Okay, do 500. And you take the rest there.
Now, just before you make your final decision here, Scott, because it wasn't quite done there,
Oh,
it will affect morale of the crew.
oh, it'll be grumpy.
It will lower it a bit, or could
Well-
lower it. Depends on what happens.
Well, Kelnozz, you could keep the morale up with your song singing and so forth, couldn't you?
I certainly can, but nothing keeps the heart at sea than a classy, expensive ale.
Told you we don't need ale. We need only the essentials. We're here to do a mission, not have a party cruise.
We have very different priorities, Theren.
Indeed.
Indeed. How much was the difference between the two?
Hold on a
Like,
sec. Let me try that again. So it's like $3 to
$500. $532
I'll pay the extra 500.
and 32.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that puts me at 507. So I'm spending a total of 333 plus 330 plus 520, I think.
532.
532. I say, when you're out at sea and your life is on the line, you want to make sure the man on your side full to the belly. And ready
Well,
to fight.
perhaps that's the first mate thing you've done. Decision you've made.
Well, don't get used to it, because I'll certainly undo this much more quickly than I did putting it all together.
Yeah, just
Let
don't
us
drink
return
all
to
the
the
Yale yourself.
Certainly be drinking my fair share. Let us return to the ship.
All right. So it takes the crew a couple hours between them to carry all the stuff back to the ship. Is there anything else you guys want to do before you leave Saltmarsh?
I think we're there.
Okay, so after you guys get all the supplies on and do a final check, Hefter says, "All right, Captain, where are we going?"
All right, and I point out where we're going on the map to the location of the Emperor of the Wave.
Half looks at your directions. The crew lowers the sails, and the ship pulls out of the dock and starts heading towards the west, where dark clouds gather.
Hi,
Dun,
diddly
dun,
dee.
dun.
Do 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 do.
Ah,